Hey, what's up, brother? And welcome back to the Restored Man YouTube channel, where we help high performing men such as yourself restore your peace, your personal power, and your presence so that you can heal shame, be who you really are, and lead your business and family with strength and love. Okay, so let's talk about big leaps. Let's talk about going from 20 to 50K months and then 50K to 100K months in our business, in our organization. Let's talk about growth. Let's talk about how we get there without working harder. All right, because there is a what is it, myth, I suppose, that you know in order to succeed to greater degrees, it requires more hard work. Well, you already work hard enough just to get to where you are. And it is true that what got you here ain't going to get you there. But it's not simply a matter of just firing your entire team, right? This is deeper than that. It actually involves increasing and expanding your capacity as a man to give and to receive love, to feel deeply, to empathize more, right? To expand your energetic capacity. Okay. And since you've done so much personal development already, I know that you know what that means. Your energetic capacity to think bigger, to feel deeper, to be even more present with yourself so that you can actually have your soul be the GPS of your business, of your family. And the truth of the matter is, I have found after a conversation with one of my clients, is that your family hold the key to your fortune. And what do I mean by that? I mean that most CEOs, most leaders, they I'm sure that you've already heard this before from one of your coaches, but CEOs, leaders of organizations, they do not have business problems, right? They have personal problems that show up in their business. One of the examples is I'm reminded of my mentor, Ankush Jain, over at the AJC Coaching Career School. Shout outs to them over in London. He was given a book called Real Love and Marriage by his mentor. And, the reason being, if you can't love your wife unconditionally, then how can I expect you to love me, your client, unconditionally? Right? How can I expect you to, in the business of transformation, where your job literally is to care about another human being more than anybody ever could, help them get from A to B? And so he gives them this book, right? Real Love and Marriage. And, really opens his heart and expands his capacity to, um, like to give and to receive love in his marriage. So what happens? He breaks through the 100K a year in his coaching practice ceiling, right? Goes to 2 to 3. I'm not going to mention where he's at now, right? Out of respect. But that is a very, very powerful insight, is that it requires going deeper into your heart, your inner world, to expand your income level by increasing your impact. And it starts, I love this. There's a colleague of mine, his name is Austin. He said, the most important work I'm ever going to do is within these 4 walls. That is a man. That is a man and a leader who understands the assignment, right? The most important work that I'm ever going to do is within these 4 walls. And so I'll tell you a story, and I'll let you go about your merry way, but I want to leave you with, really looking at this as you evolve and expand to your next level of leadership. in business, in family, and in your own personal success and development, right? Um, so I'm talking with my client, and he's officially hit the 50K per month, like milestone that he wanted to hit. And it was very, very powerful because a year ago at this exact same month, he had in his journal, this is a goal of mine, this is an intention, right? This is what I want to create. And it came to fruition. It came to fruition. And first things first, I told him, thank God for me. You know what I mean? Like, thank God for me. But secondly, also, thank God for God and thank God for you. Um, and he's like, all right, well, what's next, right? Like, obviously, we took the time to really breathe in the win, to breathe in the success, the joy, and to really be present with where he is. And the exploration, the call was centered around, how do I what's the next goal? What is the next expansive, scary? Oh, okay. What's next, right? How do I get to 100K? And he already knows all of the strategies, right? He's got working on his VA, he's working on his sales team, he's working on marketing. He's got a marketing guy. He's dialed, like he has his systems in place. He's starting to really create a solid foundation, right? And he was able to get there on his own, and now is developing a team, et cetera, et cetera. And I don't play in that realm. That's not my wheelhouse. My wheelhouse is in really focusing on the man, focusing on the identity. And so that's what we did. That's what we did, right? I was like, okay, well, the 100K version of you, right? Got it. So how does he show up? Okay. Well, in order to get there, let's identify, where are you wobbly? Where are you wobbly? Where are you not in integrity as much as you'd like to be? Where are you playing small still? Where are you hiding? Right? And it was the most beautiful conversation because we really dug down deep and realized that his relationship with his daughter was filled with still some resentment and some pain and judgment of himself and how he's showing up for her. And we worked through our process, right? The document creation process, and some of you know what that is, some of you don't know what that is, so more on that later, right? But we alchemized that, we identified the judgment, we forgave ourselves for that judgment, and what ended up coming through was very beautiful, like this declaration of who it is that he truly is as a father, right? And the truth of the matter was, and I'm willing to bet the farm, I'm willing to bet my career on this, is that the more that he focuses on putting his phone down and being fully present with his daughter, and learning to grow that relationship and that dynamic, and really exploring all of the blind spots that he has. Where is he still being resentful? Where is he actually unconsciously holding back love and affection because of her behavior, right? This unconscious game of, I'm going to hold back because you're not showing up in a way that feels good. I know myself, I absolutely have fallen, uh, not victim, but like I've fallen for that pattern of, my God, these kids are so ungrateful after everything I've done for them, and after like destroying myself to learn how to have like a healthy body, how to make money out of nothing, right? Just over, I had an idea. I ate a bunch of crap. I had to call people and to get here no, have doors slammed in my face for so long. I had to draft proposals. I had to have this thing fall through at the last minute, and go through multiple business partners and taxes and all these things, right? And then you guys can't even say thank you. You know what I mean? And like, there's that. And focusing on really forgiving, cleaning that dynamic up, and just like learning to love without condition, and to give more of who he wants to be to his little girl, to his kids, right? Because he already does so to his wife, so it's a very nuanced situation. And so, we discussed it, and I remember saying the fortune you seek is, is hidden in plain sight with your family. Like, it's I said it cooler than that, but whatever. Like, it's something essentially to that effect. It is that the most important work that you'll ever do is in these four walls. How you do one thing is how you do everything, right? People, CEOs, leaders, they don't have business problems. They have personal problems that show up in their business. And so how he was being with his daughter was manifesting itself in how he showed up for his clients, right? Whether he knows it or not, it shows up in how he shows up for himself and his self-talk. Okay. Like, that, how are you when you make a mistake? How are you when you're not doing what you know that you need to be doing? How do you speak to yourself? What do you make into a big deal that you judge yourself for, and what do you minimize and invalidate, right? That you then get defensive over doing. So I say all that to say that him working on his relationship with his daughter is 100% going to be paired with all of the business acumen, paired with his consultants, paired with all the books that he's read and his intuition and God and all of these other things. And his relationship, right, where it's wobbly, where there is growth to be found, that is what is going to take him from 50K to 100K months and beyond. It's not necessarily about working harder. It's about going deeper and learning to lead from our heart. So my question for you, my coaching question for you is, you're winning right now, right? But you want more. You want to either double your monthly revenue, or you want to double your yearly revenue, or whatever the case. Where are you wobbly, man? Where are you wobbly? What relationship that matters to you within the four walls that you have? How are you with your wife? How, is there unconditional love present? Are we angry? Are we repressed? Are we unexpressed? Are we still hiding from the people that we love? Sit with those, answer that. And then watch as you fly through your next level. All right, big love. King Richard the Lionheart signing off. I'll see you on the next one.